hope y'all put your comments in on what you think this movie was. This movie was actually requested in the comments, so shout out to Smooth Demeanor. Follow him if you, follow him. But he actually requested this movie, so we had to fit it in. So this movie is The Polar Express. So I'm not gonna lie, this movie, it is like Christmas based. I've always had a soft spot for anything Christmas. That's just kind of been in my DNA, like Christmas, oh. But this movie always kind of creeped me out as a kid. Like how the kids look in the movie and how they did the animations was kind of creepy. And watching it this time around, I think I figured out what just didn't work with how they animated. I think it's the teeth, y'all. Like how they did them in The Thing, I think that was a problem. But I do remember back in the day when this movie came out, early 2000s, it was a big deal because there had never been any animation like that. And so given in this movie, I do think it's really cool how detailed the animation is. For instance, the black girl in the movie, she had like little kinks, like little knots, like on the back of her neck. And I was like you can kind of see mine here. But she had that, like they detailed and animated that. And I was like, yo, this is kind of like just the extent that they went, I think was very interesting. So kudos to them for the animation. But yeah, I will say I do remember it being kind of creepy back in the day. Everyone kind of assumed I loved The Polar Express. I guess I'll give my rating. It was kind of like a meh movie. Just because I did like the story, I thought it was really good, but it was just like the actual animations. Like there's this whole scene in the movie where they're going through different parts of the train because they're trying to walk back to where we're like seated, and they go through like this discarded toys section of the train, and it's basically just like a whole train cart of toys that people have thrown away or just gotten rid of over the years. And that scene was kind of creepy. Like they had some marionettes in there, like little puppets, and it was just the detail that they did them. I was like, this is nightmare stuff right here. But yeah, just the level of detail, they did amazing with that. I don't know if you guys remember, but when this movie came out, there was like a hot chocolate that you could buy, because that was like the biggest thing about this movie is the hot chocolate looks so chocolatey and so good. So the Polar Express team actually made a hot chocolate, and you could go and buy it. And I remember I made my parents buy me some because that was like the one thing from this movie I love, like the hot chocolate. I was like, oh my goodness, I want to try this. So me and my siblings tried it, y'all. It was the nastiest thing ever, and I still remember that to this day. I'm like, how are you gonna make a whole song about hot chocolate, make it a whole big thing, and then the hot chocolate you actually sell is disgusting? So let me know in the comments if you remember trying that hot chocolate, because I do, and it was not good. But yeah, so a little sneak preview is next month we are actually going to try to make a Polar Express hot chocolate, and so hopefully that one will be good. But yeah, overall I thoroughly enjoyed the message. It's kind of like about a little boy who no longer believes in Santa Claus, and so he basically gets to go on this Christmas train to go meet Santa, and they're trying to like restart his belief because his little sister still believes about it, but it's kind of at that age where it's like, oh, Santa's not real. And so it's just other kids on the train. Like you have the kind of know-it-all. I kind of forgot about that kid, but his voice is like ingrained. Like it unlocked something when I heard his voice. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this little kid. And yeah, it was just overall I enjoyed watching it. I give it a meh movie because like I did like the songs, and Tom Hanks voiced so many characters in this movie. And when I was a kid, I didn't really understand like that was the same person voicing so many characters. But watching it this time around, it's very obvious all the characters that he does. You're like, oh, Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks, Tom Hanks. But overall, I enjoyed rewatching it because I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid. But I do give it a meh. I thought the message was really good. Just believe. And it was kind of cool that throughout the course of the movie, all the kids learned about themselves and kind of went away with the message. And I just really like that. Like you had the little kid who was kind of isolated and like shy, and by the end of it, like he made friends and he learned that he can count on other people. Then you had the little black girl who by the end like discovered she was a leader, and then you had the main guy who was just told believe, and so he like believed in Santa. And I did like the whole thing with the bell is how you could only hear the sleigh bells or Santa's bell on his sleigh if you were a believer. So for most of the movie, the main little kid, he couldn't hear it because he didn't believe in Santa anymore. But then the movie like switched, and as it goes through it, he could actually hear it. And how they ended the movie was like a voiceover of Tom Hanks, and he's like, even though my little sister no longer could hear the bell, I will always be able to hear the bell. And I thought that was kind of cool. Like overall, I enjoyed watching it. It wasn't my favorite movie, but the hot chocolate scene still kills, still looks amazing. And yeah, so if you've seen Polar Express soon, let me know what you think. But yeah, thank you for suggesting that movie. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.
This has been another episode of Real Talk with Noelle.